I feel like this is what God put me on this earth for, right? Is to help build the relations between the two communities. I feel like the reason why our communities aren't, but this is just like, this tension, right? Is because of the lack of communication, the lack of bridge building, the lack of just like, building a community within the two communities, right? And I feel like it's long overdue for that. Long overdue for that. I mean, there are like Asian people that, but for the most part, a lot of people in impoverished neighborhoods, a lot of people in the Black communities, they don't really have dealings, at least from what I've experienced. And I could be wrong about other places. I haven't been everywhere, so I can't speak for everywhere, but I can speak for where I've been, right? And from what I've seen is in these Black communities and these other communities, if they're impoverished, right? You'll see Chinese restaurants there. You'll always see a Chinese restaurant there.
Oh yeah.
You'll always see a nail salon there. You'll always see something, and they're there to get to conduct business in these neighborhoods, right? And number one, to speak for these store owners is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You're going in these neighborhoods. These are dangerous neighborhoods, right? And for you to be the only Asian, the only Chinese or Korean or whatever you are to be in these neighborhoods, and to have a language barrier coming straight from China or coming straight from wherever they're coming from.
And they don't usually live in these neighborhoods. They work in these neighborhoods, and they go back.
They go somewhere else.
Usually more of an Asian neighborhood.
Right. But they go to these neighborhoods to make money. So they come in with a language barrier, with whatever, like, and they're not I would never open up a Chinese restaurant in, the middle of the hood somewhere. That's not just what I'm trying to do in my life. You know what I'm saying? And most American-born Asian Americans are not going to do that either. It's the Asian people that are coming from these other countries. Immigrants that are coming from these other places that are building these stores there, right? Because
why?
Because is money.
It's cheaper?
Yeah, because it's cheaper to get it. It's easier. Like, there's a need for it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because there's less competition and you could just go there. Nobody wants to go there, right? So they'll just open up a restaurant. That's why you see that happening so much, and that the willingness to, to make a better life for their family, they're going into these places, right? And there's a language barrier, and already they have these notions of the Black people from watching media, from whatever, right? So that's number one. And number two, when they're coming in these neighborhoods, it's war torn. Like a lot of these neighborhoods are, you see people getting shot in the store, outside the store. You see people getting robbed. You see police coming in. Like, just imagine how much things they would see within just a 1 year span of having a Chinese restaurant in the middle of the hood, and they be in the middle of the hoods. Like, so just imagine what they see. So now, there's a language barrier. And Asian people are already like, they're already like insular, like they really just keep to themselves already like that, right? Mm-hmm. So now when they do this, it's like, the tension is just brewing because there's no communication here. Even though I'm here every day, I'm never going to communicate. There's no communication.
Right. People aren't hanging out. They're not getting to know their community. Right. They're not going to their customers' homes and having dinner with their customers. They're not inviting those people back to their home.
Right.
They're not forming friendships.
Right.
And that's always been like, for example, I went to UC Berkeley.
Right.
Which had a huge Asian population at the school, especially in computer science, where I went to school. And you would always have these groups of Asian kids that would just rock with each other.
Yeah.
They would speak Chinese to each other.
That's our culture. That's how
they would go in their own groups. They wouldn't talk to people like me at all.
Right.
And it creates a bit of friction.
It does. Even you can never say anything to me.
Yeah.
Right. We never have any type of interaction with each other, but just because of that interaction, you feel like, he feel like he better than me.
Yeah. No. I remember, like, for example, like at my school.
So just imagine in the hood.
Yeah.
So just imagine in the hood where
magnified 10 times.
Right. Magnified 10 times, where people are coming in and out of these stores, and it's like, you know, the different attitudes and the different, like, you know, so they're experiencing, so there's tension like this, you know what I'm saying? And these people are starting to feel like a certain way because there's no communication. So there's no communication, no way. So now our whole existence, Asian existence in a lot of these people's minds is just from that. Just from those experiences with them going to buy a chicken wing fried rice and going to the corner store to buy apple juice or orange juice or whatever it is. That's it. So now, but these people are not everybody. You know what I'm saying? These people, and it's amongst kind of extreme situations, extreme differences. So that's why it's like that. But what the movement that I want to do and the movement that I'm pushing and what I want to do right now, what I'm setting out to do is to bridge that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, because remember, you know, I was brought up in a system, right? From very young. I was 8 years old in my first institution, and and when I first went in there, it was total culture shock. Total, like, I just didn't understand anything because everything that was happening was like definitely not what my mother taught me, you know what I'm saying? Or what my family taught me. It was totally different. But I was so young at that time that, you know, I was able to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? To assimilate to what was going on, and then also have my own culture at the same time. And I saw that there, you know, we can get along with each other. You know what I'm saying? We can very well get along with each other. We can benefit each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there are racist Asians, but there are racist black people. There are racist everybody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is perfect. No people is perfect. No community is perfect. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is communication. All we need is some communication. You know what I'm saying? All we need, and me being an Asian American, I feel like that it is because of this perception that these neighborhoods have of us, because of these people, the perception that the people have of us, of these store owners and these preying on the community and these things. That's the perception, because that's really what they've been seeing. And because of that, I feel a necessity to make the first gesture, right? And I feel like as Asian Americans, right, Asian Americans, we should strengthen our neighborhoods and we should gesture to open up bridges with other people, because now is not a time for us to be fighting amongst each other. Now is not a time for us to be fighting. Now is a time to kind of pool together some resources and kind of figure out, hey, you know, how can we help each other versus how can we kill each other, because we have enough adversities right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like these rallies that we're doing is not just to rally up Asian people in an Asian supremacy way. Like, that's definitely not my agenda. That's not our agenda. You know what I'm saying? Our agenda, our goal is to strengthen the Asian communities, is to change the narrative of us being weak and docile, to change the narrative of us being quiet and allowing ourselves to be bullied, but also to change the narrative between the relationships of the different communities that are around us, to build bridges with other communities. And that's what I feel like I'm put on this earth to do.